There's the misery porn. Had to get in there right at the last minute. Didn't ya? The Last of Us season finale for season 2. Well, I'll say this. I did appreciate Dina upon finding out like the full backstory to why all of this is happening. Her immediate response is, "We need to go home right now." Like somebody finally freaking said it. Ellie's not going to listen. No, Ellie's going to proceed to do just the worst things. Like, oh boy. Okay. So we dealt with her last time beating information out of somebody who was already dying for all intents and purposes. And now, oh, good grief. Now, she's been saved by Jesse now in an earlier episode. And rather than, listen to anything he has to say, even though he clearly cares about her, not romantically, but like clearly cares about her safety and everything else and cares about her as a person, abandons him and Tommy. Like, here's the sniping going on, and it's obviously Tommy. It has to be Tommy. The freaking cult doesn't use guns, so who else would be shooting at the WLF? But because she spotted a wheel and the aquarium, and that's the only lead she has to go on, she swiftly abandons somebody who she knows is in a firefight and doesn't know what kind of position he has and doesn't know how secure he is and is her friend, and abandons both him and Jesse. And then gets in a boat that, like, my immediate question is, does she even really know how, like, yeah, outboard motor, not the most complicated thing in the world, but does she have the slightest clue what she's doing in a storm, in the rain, without sufficient light? Look, there is a difference between watching a character do something morally foolish, bad for their soul, and logistically moronic, which is what her getting in that damn boat was. Look, I'm having trouble with Ellie right now, a fair bit. It's not the performance. Bella Ramsey's doing a good job, like, as far as delivering what's being asked of them. But the thing here is that I can usually, assuming it's done well, find a way to relate to a character who means well and does foolish things, or a character who is competent but has foolish or harmful aims. But dealing with somebody who is doing something awful and is also going about it in just the worst way, it's like this thing's trying to make me hate her. And it isn't helped by the fact that she's saved by sheer coincidence, just the timing of an apparent attack on the village. And yes, I know, because like the end of this season is like a rollback to day one, and that means the next season is going to be from Abby's perspective, and we're probably going to see the other side of things like the WLF attacking the village and the sniper thing or whatever. So I know to a certain degree some of this is set up, but I don't care. I don't care. Like, she is alive because the story will be over if she dies, not because of anything she did. And because she did something really dumb, she should be dead. She should probably be dead several times over, and it's really starting to push its luck with me on that. And it, yeah. Then Owen and Mel, all right. Out of curiosity and for comparison, I did look up the scene of the death of those two characters from the video game. I prefer the show. I'll say that definitively up front. That having been said, it still felt it felt cruelly contrived, that Ellie shoots this woman, not even meaning to in this case, really, as far as I could tell. And she's pregnant. And like that just, especially knowing what's going on with Dina, that just feels so knife twisty. It feels like it's misery porn. It is misery porn. That's what it's doing. But at the same time, I will grant like the whole thing of Mel trying to talk Ellie through a cesarean section to save the baby and not even knowing if Ellie's doing it because she's dying and fading quickly is a pretty well thought out and well executed way of delivering something that I don't like because it's misery porn. So like I will readily grant it's well made misery porn, but the idea of rolling back several days to give me Abby's side so that I can either, because like one of two things is going to happen at this point. Either you're going to get me to sympathize more with Abby, which is, let's be clear, a tall order for how far she went out of her way for how many years to kill one dude. I already don't like her. Like that level of obsession, yeah, that is real hard to get me to think that somebody is worth liking if they are doing that and you are giving me basically nothing else about them. This, in theory, the third season will give me something else about her, but it's secondary to the stuff you showed me first. My understanding of her is obsessive murderer. So I don't really want to like... I'm not saying she's not worth fleshing out. I don't want to particularly spend extended time with her, though. And I really, really don't care about learning more about the WLF or the cult and what's been going on there or Isaac. Like, I don't care about any of these people. They're all well performed. It's all well shot. I do not care about any of these people. So the idea of switching perspective to Abby, and like the alternative is if they don't try and make her more sympathetic and they basically do to her what they did to Ellie, well, they are just creating a scenario where there's two people I hate. What? Hate's a strong word. I don't know if I hate Ellie yet. I hate watching this, though. I hate watching her go through this. I've had people say in the comments, the game is supposed to make you feel like you want it to stop. And like, I have a feeling, so reminder, I've never played the second Last of Us game because I can't. My motion sickness, I can't deal with it. But I have a distinct feeling that if I tried to play it, I probably would have quit a quarter or a third of the way in. Because at a certain point, if the thing feels like it's making the point, you shouldn't be doing this, I might start agreeing. And granted, this isn't quite the same thing because you are not in control of Ellie in this more passive medium of television. But like, I don't want this. Last episode did such a good job of reminding me what is great about this show. And then this episode comes out and just does a spectacular job of reminding me why I don't think I'm going to come back for the third season. Because I don't want any of this. I don't want to see these people who none of them are worth rooting. Well, not none of them. None of our primary characters right now feel like they're worth rooting for either in general or rooting for the goal they are currently trying to accomplish. And I don't need this Cormac McCarthy everything sucks, let's wallow in the darkness stuff. I don't. So I don't know if I'll be back for another season. Although, peek behind the curtain, the clincher on this might honestly be whenever Max is no longer streaming the revival era of Doctor Who. Eccleston through Whittaker. Once that's off the service, I'm going to have a lot of incentive to drop it. And I don't know if this and House of the Dragon is going to be enough for me to pick it up again. Yeah. So that might be the clincher. It might be, so, all right, let me put it this way. If I still have Max as a service when season 3 comes out, maybe I'll give it a try. But if I've dropped the service because it doesn't have Doctor Who anymore, I'm not going to pay for it to watch this. And again, it's not bad. It is doing what it does very well. I just don't want what it's doing. The Last of Us season finale. And again, right after such a good episode, it's like it's punishing me for having liked the previous episode. Yeah, wasn't that, thoughtful and emotional and like gave you the feels to remember the good times, but also had the nuance and the complexity that things aren't always as good as you would like them to. Doesn't this remind you of the artistry and the beauty of something like the 3rd episode of the 1st season? Well, screw you! All that's gone and dead! At a certain point, if I feel like a piece of media doesn't like me, I feel like the responsible thing for me is to take the hint. I know when I'm not welcome. Anyways, what did you think about this? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills, enables me to do this as my living, even if you can't help me out that way. Like, share, subscribe. Those all help as well. Don't worry too much about it, though, because we take a relaxed attitude around here, so you can just come on back next time you need a break. And now to thank my highest supporting patrons: Robin Moore, Quite Bearish, Zubin Lutfula, Mira G, Angry Casperl, Dave Hall, Andre, Movie Turtle, Oliver B, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Melissa Pedersen, Mary Mello, Becky Sparks, Loki Eris, Pal Barabajoggle, and Sir Didymus is my favorite. And also Toka Blue Hoovian, Auntie Kate 808, and Tracy Scrabbit. If you'd like to hear me try and pronounce your name correctly while these guys chitter in my ears, check out the reward tiers on the Patreon. Yes, I hear you.